What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Shot Bless, and I'm rocking with your boy, Trap Jesus, right here on WPIR Radio. We on the 361.
WPIR 98.4Fm. It's your boy, DJ Trap Jesus. That was Remo The Hitmaker, Harlem Zone. You know what I'm saying? Why you mad at me? So I told you haters why you mad at me. And as we promised, we got Remo The Hitmaker on the line. Are you here with us, Playboy?
What's up? What up, man?
What's good with you?
Yeah, listen, man. I appreciate you even having me on the show, man.
Right. So, let's get down to the nitty gritty. So you're officially from Harlem, right?
Facts, 131st, A5, St. Nick. What's up?
All right. Harlem in the building. So let the listeners know how it was growing up in Harlem, man.
I mean, growing up in Harlem was hard. You know what I'm saying? You know, it was hard. You know, music-wise, it was hard. You know what I'm saying? But once I did Dancing on Me for DJ Wellstar, I just opened up a lot of more doors and got my name around. You know, also being, you know, playing Lil Sonny and Paid in Full, that also opened up, you know, another avenue for me. So that's kind of how I got my start in Harlem.
Right. So, you know, because a lot of people love to say, "Oh, I want to come to New York. I want to go see Harlem. I want to go see Brooklyn."
I mean, of course, they got to come see Harlem because Harlem is where, you know, we got the money, we got the clothes, you know, this is where the kids want to be at, you know?
Right. I feel you on that, you know. So, like, you know, when did you figure out that making beats, you know, and doing music in general was your thing, you know?
When I figured out that I wanted to do music and do beats, it really was around like the age of 14. Because before 14, you know, going back around like the age of 7, I was modeling. You know, I did a lot of different things. A lot of people don't know I was some of the Lion King. You know, I was Lil Sonny and Paid in Full. Did a lot of commercials. Did a lot of voiceovers. Did other movies. You know, but you know, back around 14, that's when I really got into my music. You know what I'm saying? My mother sings. My dad plays 10 different instruments, you know, and I'm a church boy, so, you know, a lot of that, you know, comes from church. So nobody never really taught me how to make music, you know. Like my father tell you, like, nah, I didn't teach him nothing. Like, he just said, you know, I think my dad saw how my passion, you know, how it was towards the music. And his whole thing was like, yo, this is what you want to do it. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't, you know, I wasn't no A. I keep it 100 with you. I wasn't A1 in class in school because, you know, I just wanted to do music. You know, when my father told me, listen, I support you with your music, but you got to go get that diploma, saying, you know what I'm saying? Get that diploma, and I'll support you with it. So I made sure, you know what I'm saying, I got that diploma, and after that, I really just started going hard with the music. Like, and my pop supported it, you know what I'm saying? But nobody never showed me nothing. I just learned, you know what I'm saying? It just came from being in different studios and just watching certain people. And then, you know, around the age of 16, I was running around New York City. Like, there's not one studio I don't think I haven't been in New York. And when I see studio, meaning downtown. Like, I'm talking about, we can go back to when Hit Factory used to be in New York. For people who don't know, Hit Factory was originally in New York, you know what I'm saying? Even Sony Studios, this is way back. So, you know, I always built up my relationships in the game, you know what I'm saying? And I just kept going at it.
Right. So, and as you said, you dropped, you know, your first joint was the Dancing on Me track.
Right.
Which still in the southern areas, they still bang that joint to this day.
Facts. That's a fact.
You know, I go to some of these little clubs down here out in Pennsylvania. You know, I still hear them bumping it. I still, you know, it's crazy because I still see people doing the chicken noodle soup dances to the song. It's like they can't wait for this song to come on so they can do that dance.
Right.
And I'm like, wow. It's being, you know, being a New Yorker myself, I was just sitting there and look back like, if only they would knew. If only they knew.
Right.
Saying.
Right. They only know.
Right. So give me a list of some of the people. Well, I know the bio, you know what I'm saying, but for the listeners, give us, you know, some of the people you work with, you know?
50 Cent, Joel Santana, Jim Jones, Yo Gotti, Chris Brown, Seven Streeter, French Montana, Jeremiah, T.I., 2 Chainz, it's a long list, man. I ain't gonna lie. It's a long list.
Right. So, like, for any artist that's looking to get some music from you, like, what are your price ranges? Because I'm getting hit up on my phone right now. Like, yeah.
I mean, listen, what they could do is the info, everything they want to know is right in my bio on my Instagram, or you can email newwavemusic at 2011 at gmail.com. So that's newwavemusic 2011 at gmail.com, and all the answers you need will get right back to you ASAP.
All right, so for y'all listening, y'all heard him. Hit him up on that
I think I
Gmail.
want a track. I need a hook. I need that. Just hit that email, newwavemusic2011 at gmail.com, and I'll definitely get you all.
So, like, what was your first reaction when you heard the first beat you ever did for an artist played on the radio? Like, what was your reaction?
Well, my first reaction, it's funny. When I first did Dancing on Me, I just came out the shop. It was in the summer. I just came out the barber shop, and this is when the record started heating up. I just came out the barber shop, and the block. There was these two dudes. They was in a Mercedes, but a convertible. The top was down, and it was blasting Dancing on Me, and it was just weird to know that they didn't know that the kid standing across the street made the record. So it was just like, wow, that just blew me away. And I was like, wow, these dudes don't even know that's me. Like, they don't even know. I'm standing right across the street, and he's just in the car, just bopping. So that was dope.
Right. You know, because some people, they can and they can't remember their first reaction, you know.
Oh, no. My first reaction is memorable because it was like, I'd never forget it. It was in the summer. I was walking down the street, just came out the barber shop, a fresh haircut. I was asleep as usual, you know, and I was just like, wow, like these dudes don't even know, like that's me. So, you know, that was a dope feeling.
Yeah, you could hear it in them, yo. That's that Harlem in them, you know, fresh death cut. You know
I mean, come on, man. You know how we do, man.
Yeah, I haven't been in Harlem in a minute though, but I see things have changed though, man.
Nah. I'm not gonna lie to you. I love my borough, man, but you know it ain't the same. Harlem not the same as it used to be. You know, a lot of change. You know, it's a new generation, so you know a lot of change a little bit. But you know, Harlem is Harlem, man. I'm always gonna be Harlem. You know.
Right. So since the fame kicked in, yo, can you give us one of your wildest stories?
He said since the fame kicked in.
Since the fame kicked in, you know what I'm saying?
You know what's funny? I don't even see it as fame because I just see it as me even working. You know what I mean? I'm not, you know, I always tell people I'm not where I want to be just yet. That's why I'm working and, you know, to be a success. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be overnight with it. So, you know, I'm still building it. You know, I have a crazy resume, but I'm still building a resume. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, that's what's more important. I don't really got no stories, to be honest. I don't really have no wild stories. Keep it 100 with you. I have no wild stories at all. Like people don't really bother me like that because I don't really come out. Like I don't really go to the clubs. I'm doing it now. Yeah, I'm doing promo on my radio runs and stuff like that. But before, you can ask me, I'm a studio rat. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in the studio every day, 24/7. It's gym then studio. You know what I'm saying? I don't really hang out. I don't go to the movies. Like I don't really do it. You know what I'm saying? Because right now it's about putting in that extra work in the studio, especially when you get the kind of opportunities that I've been blessed, to get. You got to be in the studio. You know what I'm saying? If you're not putting 100% in that studio, then ain't no need for you to be doing music. You know what I'm saying? Because with the studio, you got to be in there every single day, 24/7. Like, and of course, friends, family members, they're not going to understand because they don't understand that. It's not only just a studio; it's a lifestyle. Like it's a real lifestyle. It's just
True.
a different lifestyle.
I feel you. Yeah, because I'm like, when the bio was sent to me, I was like, yo, he did my joint. I was like, do something by Dipset. I like, that's my joint right there.
Yeah. I did that joint. It's so funny because I had been did that joint like a while ago. You know what I'm saying? Because there's the sounds that I use now. I don't even use those sounds anymore. That record was done a while ago, and then Jim called my manager like, yo, we about to do something. I'm like, well, okay, but you know what I mean? So that's a good look,
Right. So, let's get to this other question. I had to ask you about it though, but at 17, you went through like a homeless phase. So what it was like going through that phase? Because a lot of people can't really say that because a lot of niggas still live with their moms and shit. You know what I'm saying? So they don't know
Right.
the real struggle behind that. So give us your view on that.
No, it was real. You know what I mean? My struggle, being homeless was real. You know what I'm saying? And when I say homeless, I'm talking about homeless, like the real homeless, not the, because I feel like if you have a shelter, you're in a shelter, you're not homeless. You just don't have you're not stable yet. But you
Yeah.
have somewhere where you can put your head. Me and my family didn't have nowhere to put our head. Like, we was really homeless. Like, we was going from gas station to wash up. You know what I'm saying? So, a lot of that really helped me. But, it was tough, though. I ain't gonna lie to you. And at that time, I didn't have my pops around that time because of the circumstances that, we was in. So, at that time, it was just me. It was me, my little sister, and my mother. You know what I'm saying? We would sleep in the car. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have no money, no food. Like, we went like a whole week with no food. Like, for real. 4 whole days, no food.
The struggle is real.
Yeah, no, it was real. It was not nothing to joke about. You know what I'm saying? Good thing is, a situation came in LA where, I was able, to get something. But other than that, nah, man, it was real. It was real. Like, that struggle was real. A lot of people don't know that about me, but at one point in time, I was definitely homeless. You know what I'm saying? But, I just kept working. I kept working. And, my first record I ever put out went straight to radio. That's the other reason how, just to go back to the first question, because actually that's kind of how I got known really in New York. Like, a lot of people, what happened was I didn't get known in the game for doing a bunch of major records. Before I started working with all the major artists that I named, the way I really got known in New York was I was doing songs this is what it was. The talk went on in town like, yo, there's this kid that's doing a hook, he's doing a track with, artists that's not signed, but for some strange reason, when you leave the studio and a DJ hit a record, the record goes straight to radio. So after a while, it was like, yo, there's this kid named Remo The Hitmaker, so you got to go in the studio with him. Like, they'll give you a record, it'll sound like radio, and you play it for a DJ, they're going to play it on the radio. And that's kind of how I got my start really in the game, honestly.
And that's how we actually got one of your tracks too, the one you did with Mace. Like, as soon as we heard it, I was like, yo, this is hard, son. I was like, man, I'm throwing this shit in rotation.
For like a good 4 months, you know what I'm saying? He flew me out to Atlanta, you know what I mean? It just was it was a pleasure, you know what I mean? Because I'm a fan, I'm from Harlem, so that's my favorite rapper. So to be able to just work with him, you know what I'm saying, that was pretty dope.
Right. And then after we threw that out there, I see you on the retweet. I was like, all right, so he know we got it. That's what's up.
Yeah, facts.
So, like, I see you released the EP, called Dreams and Reality, Dreams to Reality.
Right.
So,
right. Yeah, I dropped that like 3. It was like, yeah, it's like 3 years now.
So, did the people embrace it the way you wanted them to?
Yeah, I mean, well, it was my first EP that I put out. I wasn't at the status that I am now. You know what I'm saying? I was still trying to get stuff going. But that was like my first. That's still like I call that my baby because, that was my first project I really put out. That was really the way of introduction to the world. My sound, what I bring to the table. Now, I'm about to start dropping these joints, these new mixtapes now. That's gonna be kind of different because I kind of have more ability to put it out, further than how it went with the Dreams to Reality. Dreams to Reality didn't really go too far because my fan base wasn't that big, but now that it definitely has expanded over the last 6-7 years. Now when I put out a project, it's gonna be kind of different. The streets gonna feel it even more now.
And that's for all you artists. You know what I'm saying? When you drop a single or a song, or whatever, it may not jump right then and there, but give it time. Don't jump to the next song. Push that song. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. Yeah. Sometimes it's good. But don't get me wrong. If the song ain't going right, you know what I'm saying? You got to, unfortunately, the way the game is set up now, it's like, if you don't really see it really going good, the numbers ain't really moving right with that song, then, yeah, you should move to the next song. Because everybody's attention span is so little now in the game that, if you don't really got something that's hot and ain't really scorching hot, go to the next record. You know what I'm saying? Until you get that one. Because once you get that one, your life will change. I promise you that. Like, I'm a living testimony of that. You get one record, your whole life, your bank account, you'll start being somebody bro, sis, the fake people that who never called you will start calling you. Everybody want to be your homie. Everybody wanna kill somebody for you. You know, it goes like that. Nah, for real. Like, it happens like that. Like, it be people that you thought didn't like you. No, what's up, yo? Whatever you need, you go. Like, when you come over here, you go. I'm like, yo, fam, I remember when you wouldn't even say nothing to me. You used to grill me all the time. You know what I'm saying? But you know that's how the game goes.
Right, because niggas say some shit like that to me. I be like, nigga, I don't know all about that, dog. Nigga, we ain't never rocked before, nigga. We ain't go boosting before, none of that shit, nigga.
That's a fact.
Word. So, like, how do you feel about? Oh, matter of fact, let me go from that. Yeah, I see you had landed an engineering job in the mix of your trip, you know, your trials and tribulations. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, how was it? You know, when you stepped up in there and you was like, oh man, I got this gig, yo, and I could be an engineer at the studio at one of these high profile studios. Like, how did that feeling, and you know, how did you feel when you got that word and shit? You know.
Well, you know, like, once again, nobody never showed me how to make music. So, you know, the thing with me, the reason how I got into engineering was that I didn't hate waiting for somebody. Like, I'm a very impatient person. Like, when I'm in the studio, if you're gonna work with me, you gotta be fast. You can't be slow, cause I'm fast. Like, I got like a million ideas running. You know what I'm saying? Cause when I feel like when you work in the studio, you should be ready to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should be ready. You don't need to sit around and play around. You know what I'm saying? So the way I got with the engineering was I used to just watch certain people. Watch, and then the more I was watching, I caught on to it after a while. Because, you know, at the end of the day, you know, it's a gift, you know what I'm saying? And it's so funny, you know, Jay-Z said something so real on one of his interviews. He was like, you know how people be like, oh, you know, the chosen ones, and, you know, he was like, I don't feel like nobody's chosen. I feel like God gives everybody a gift. I just feel like they got to tap into that gift. So, you know, I had the gift of being an engineer, but I had to tap into it. So once I tapped into that gift, you know what I'm saying, it just flourished. And then I was, you know, running around New York just being an engineer of certain people. And then when people started figuring out what my sound was, or they were like, oh, you Remo The Hitmaker? Oh, you did such with such. Oh, so I need you to, yo, how much you charge? Can you come to my studio? And then that's how it started. And then the word just started spreading around.
And that's the thing, people gotta understand. The engineer is the key point to your song becoming nice and clear.
You know what I'm saying? The engineer and the producer, without an engineer and a producer, how are you going to be an artist? You know, it's impossible. You need the engineer and a producer. That's the complete package to be even an artist, you know, without those two people. But, you know, I've been blessed to be all three into one. You know what I'm saying? I am a producer, I am an engineer, and an artist. So now I don't have to wait for nobody. And now when that check comes, I don't got to really stutter it around because I'm like all three people into one.
Right. Because that's what I tell them. I started picking up beats myself, and I used to do it back in the days though. But you know, I just like recently in the last 2 months just started going hard with it. And I was like, all right, this is what we're gonna do. Right. I can run the radio station, make some beats on the side, and possibly make some extra bread with the beats and stuff. Because I don't want to do no rapping and shit. You know, I just want to make beats and shit. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's what I said. I watch people like you. You know what I'm saying? Primo and a lot of these other cats that do it, you know, and I like, yo, these are the dudes that's going to be here even longer than the artists themselves, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because you know, artists, I always tell artists, you know, it's one thing I always tell artists is when you're in the studio, always remember this. You could lose, but the producer is never going to lose because they make the music, you know, like. Right. You producers make the music. We're never gonna lose. You're the artist. When you gotta walk in the studio and you gotta pull up your email and go through about 2,000 beats before you can actually pick what beat it is, the producer already recorded it and did what you need to do and got it done already out the way. While you're still trying to figure out what you're gonna do. So I always tell artists, you know what I'm saying, remember they always start out with the producer and the engineer. Always.
And always make sure you got that money for that engineer. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. Have that chicken on deck. And I don't like my chicken fried. I like it rotisserie.
That's Harlem right there for you, boy.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So how do you feel about the game now, you know, nowadays and shit?
It's funny. It's funny you asked me that because somebody asked me that not too long ago. Like, I took a break from the game. Like, I was on the my last record that I was on the radio crazy was Monique's Room. I did for the Godson.
Mm-hmm.
After that record, I took a year off from radio because I felt like people wasn't. Cause see, I have a very like when you listen to my music, I have a '90s feel because that's where I grew up on. I grew up on Timberland, and Rodney Jerkins, Pharrell, Mace, 112, 8th Avenue, Silk,
Yeah.
Casey Jojo. Like that's what I grew up listening to. Joe, Genuine, Tank, Tyrese. That's what I enjoy listening to. So when I make my music, I'm emulating what I was listening to when I was a kid. And I had to take a year off because I started realizing that music was going in a totally direction. It went from, loving the woman to now you disrespecting the woman. Not everybody rap shit, everybody killing each other, everybody doing something. So I was like, man, I gotta figure out how to fit in, but still be me at the same time. Because at the end of the day, music goes through its course. And the 90s had its era, now it's this new era, and now I had to figure out what the new era was. Because I'm not going to lie to you, the Southern sound came in and just kind of took over.
True.
And it came in so fast that I ain't going to lie, I was one of the people that I kind of hurt from it a little bit because I was like, damn, I got to figure this out. Like, because I don't really do South music, so I got to figure this out. So no lie, because a lot of people don't understand when you're a producer, it's just not about walking in the studio and making a beat. Producing is when you're giving the artist the flow. You're telling the artist what to do, how to do it, what bars to do. If they sound good, it don't sound good. If it's a high pitch or low pitch. All of that comes into play. And with me, I had to figure it out that whole year because I'm so much into my craft that I wanted to make it right. So I was like, you know what? I got to figure this out. So I took a whole year off. I figured it out. And once I figured it out, I said, oh, okay, I got it. Because I still want these 13, 14, 15s, who I am. So I said, all right, cool. I'm going to figure this out. So once I figured it out, now I'm back on the radio. And the first record I'm back on the radio with is Bad Bitch, French Montana featuring Jeremiah.
That's another one of my joints, too, right there, too.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Where we got that in rotation. We got Do Something in rotation. We have a couple of joints, like I said, from you, and now we just added your joint into the rotation. So, like I said,
I'm blessed. That sounds blessed. Yeah, I feel it. So blessed.
Because that's the thing, like what people don't get, these other radio stations, shots out, whatever, however you want to throw it out there, but they don't really, they want you to come do the interview and everything, but they really don't support the music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. They don't because, and don't get me wrong, I can understand there's a lot of political stuff that goes on with it, which I understand, I get, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's a game. That's how it goes. You just got to find a way to get around that and still make your mark and accomplish your goal,
Yeah. See, like with us, being that I run the station, also being the host, I throw whatever I feel on rotations.
Nah, absolutely, and that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing, Beautiful thing.
And the people out here in Pennsylvania, they be like, "Yo, I need to get on this station." I be like, "Yo, dogs, give me something worth listening to, man." Word.
Yeah, give us some fire, then you good.
And I won't sit there and deny you. Just give me something that the people will be like, "Yo, I want to request that. Let me call up and request that joint."
Exactly.
So is there any artists that you haven't worked with yet that you would like to work with?
Drake. Everybody asks me, who you trying to work with right now? That's focus right now. I know once me and him get in the studio, me and him at 40 get in the studio, it's on. Like, it ain't nothing to talk about. Because they're going to understand my sound because they understand music. Mm-hmm. Because they're very musically inclined. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you listen to Drake's music, you could tell that him and 40, they're very musically inclined. So with them, it would definitely make a whole lot of sense.
All right, so yo, give me your top 5 dead or alive right now. Let's see where you really at with it.
Top 5 dead or alive and doing in what though?
And the music doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
My top 5 dead or alive right now in the music right now that I like.
Exactly.
All right, I gotta go with Drake. Number one. I gotta, and it's because I'm going off of just what I like fan wise. I gotta go with Brandy. Either you could say whatever, you could say she watch whatever. I'm a fan. You know what I'm saying? I've been a fan as a kid, so I gotta go with Brandy. Gotta go with me. My last two. I'm gonna be very honest with you. Don't get it twisted. No, wait. I'm gonna be honest with you. Believe it or not, and I love the South. Like I got mad. Like if I play you, I could play you some records that you be like, wait, that's you. But yeah, like, I could switch it up. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna lie. Believe it or not, I am definitely a fan of Future because I like what Future has done over his career. Like, and I respect what he's done. You know what I'm saying? Like, he came in the game with just that sound. You know what I'm saying? And I definitely been a fan since day one. So I definitely put him in there. And the last person.
You just got a lot of artists spinning around in your head right now, right?
I'm not gonna lie. The reason why I say this person is because I'm not gonna lie. He's been like he's definitely like an inspiration. I have to say Meek. Definitely have to say Meek.
All right. That's what's up. That's what's up. So, like, do you have anything you would like to say to the youth that's coming up that want to be in your shoes right now?
Yo, just keep grinding, man. Just keep working. Keep God first. Get you a team if you don't got a team. And if you do got a team, then stay loyal, man, and just and work. You're gonna have your ups and downs. Some people get on quick. Then some people it take them years. You know what I'm saying? Perfect example. Look at Hov. You know, Hov didn't really start getting power until he was in his 30s, and that's a fact.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? So you have to weigh your options out. Same thing with Drake. You know, people think Drake just came out of nowhere. No. Drake was out for years. I've been following Drake since 2004, since MySpace.
Mm-hmm.
Real. So Drake worked. Drake used to get booed in Toronto. They used to boo him. He used to go to spots and perform, and they used to boo him. But now, look, they worship the ground he walks on. So, you know, you got to just stay working. You know what I'm saying? People going to tell you, oh, you trash, you whack, or, you know, you this, you that, your stuff sound the same, Don't pay no mind to that. Trust me, them saying that means that you're doing something right. Because if it wasn't talking, then that means you really are whack. But if they are saying something, that means you ain't that whack. You're doing something right because they talking. And keep God first and you be good money.
That's right. To all you artists, you see, this is real shit, man. You know,
Facts.
Everybody who I interview, I like to hear their real side to them. So, you know, everybody's listening in could see, like, it ain't all what you see on TV, dogs.
It's not. It's really not all what you see on TV. It really isn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, people look at, you know, even Meek. People look at Meek and think, oh, nah, Meek was struggling. He was getting his red tongue all the time. He was struggling. Everybody listen. Every majority, 94.4% of the artists that's out right now, everybody struggles. Everybody got a different struggle. You know? Everybody. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if you just heard the kid come out of nowhere. Let's say tomorrow you hear somebody. I'm pretty sure they had a struggle. I'm pretty sure they was doing something. Even if they started 6 months ago, they had some type of struggle to get to where they at right now. It happens. It's a part of the game. You know what I'm saying? If you're not struggling while you're in the game, then you ain't really doing it right. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to have to go through some ups and downs to get to where you want to get to in this game. Because it's wicked. You know what I'm saying? And you got to be strong. You know? Definitely got to be strong.
And you got to keep that family close because the game will separate you.
Yeah. The game will definitely separate you, and that money will change you. You know what I'm saying? It's going to change you. You're going to change when that money comes. But you got to just know who to change on. You know what I'm saying? You don't change on the ones that were there for you. You know?
Like, especially the ones that was giving you the money to go to these talent shows when you was broke, shit like that.
The ones that you call when you needed $20 to get on the train. The ones that you call when you needed some money, you didn't have none, but your team was gonna hold you down, make sure you was good, unless you have food in your system, so you could do that show that night. Like, those are the people you gotta make sure to keep around you. You know what I'm saying? But not these new people. These new people will suck the blood out you. That's a fact.
That's right. As soon as you be like, nah, I ain't got it, they're gonna be sitting there ready to rob you.
Yeah. And another thing too, my advice: don't promise nothing to nobody. Because the moment you promise somebody something, I promise you this: when you get to where you want to get to, they're gonna be lined up. They're gonna be like, "Nah, remember was in the park in the hood when you said when you get on, you know what I mean? Like, I could get a couple dollars, you know what I mean?" You know that day we was playing ball, mind you ain't see this nigga like in 10 years.
He's still waiting for them couple of dollars.
Yeah, he's still waiting for them couple of dollars though. Like, you remember we was in the park, we was playing ball? Remember you said you was gonna have it when you get on? I always knew you was gonna make it. You always knew I was gonna make it, but when I was struggling, you was nowhere to be found.
Right. That's real true shit there, people.
Yeah, be careful promising people things, man, because that promising thing will get you in trouble.
Yeah.
Trust me. I seen it happen. A lot of people seen it. It ain't good.
All right, so do you got anybody you want to show some love to, send a shout out to and shit, before we wrap it up?
Man, y'all can just follow me on Instagram, man, Remo The Hitmaker. Follow me on Twitter, Remo The Hitmaker, and on Facebook is Remo Green.
That's right. You see, I put them out there on Instagram also. So if you following us at the station, just look through some of those visuals and you'll see his Instagram in there. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Word, but shit, thanks for calling in, though, man. And like I said, anytime you got a joint and you ready to push it out, send it in, man. Just send it to us. And we'll definitely put that in rotation. Easy.
You already know.
All right, man. So give it up for Remo the Hitmaker, people. You know what I'm saying? He holding it down with us. I had to throw that in there.
Thanks for having the kid.
Like I said, we're going to wrap this interview up, put it nice and tight, get it on iTunes, put it on YouTube and everything so people could listen to you and listen to the realness about you and everything. So hopefully they'll learn instead of just trying to, hate and shit. You know what I mean? All right, man. Thanks for calling in, though. I know you got a busy day. Much luck and success to you, my dude.
All right, man. You too.
All right. Stay up, dogs.
You already know.
All right. That was Remo the Hitmaker. Live interview, We was talking about real facts, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. WPIR 98.4 FM. It's your boy DJ Trap Jesus. Shout out to the boy Pre-Dollars on the check-in. We holding it down for the peoples. You heard? The #1 station in Pennsylvania. It is what it is, man. Holla at your boy. Let's go.